At the very start, we are shown a broken-down house. It looks like a fierce battle just took place there. Suddenly, a few men arrive, and their leader, glancing ahead, shouts, "Leave it here!" At his command, all the men draw their swords, ready to fight. In front of them sits a girl, the one they are about to battle. Without even looking at them, the girl speaks in a cold tone. "Whoever stands in my way will die." Hearing that, the leader becomes excited. "Enough talk! Charge!" All the men rush toward the girl at once, attacking together. But the girl easily blocks all their attacks with calm precision, then unleashes a single powerful slash. In an instant, all the men are blown into the air and crash heavily to the ground. Seeing all his men fall, the leader becomes tense. "We can't take her head-on like this." He quickly performs some hand signs and shouts, "Formation!" All the men regroup, forming a battle formation. They attack together, boasting, "Even a Grand Master like you can't escape from our formation unscathed." But even that doesn't faze the girl. She watches them charge, draws her sword once more, and swings it in another fierce slash. The slash is so powerful that it cuts their formation clean in half. The leader stares in shock. Her attack isn't over yet. The slash continues forward and strikes directly at him. Though the leader remains standing, the rest of his men are blown back through the air, falling far behind from the impact. Shocked, the leader can only stammer, "How?" The next moment, we see a huge cut across his chest. He looks down, stunned, and finally accepts defeat. How is this possible? After killing them all, the girl stylishly sheathes her sword and stands up. Then the scene suddenly shifts, revealing that everything we just saw was a game being played by our main character on his computer. After defeating everyone, he looks at the screen and says, "As expected of Ran Qingmo." Just seeing Ran Qingmo appear on the screen makes our MC's heart pound wildly. Holding his chest, he says, "Even her simple cutscene looks so cool." Then he introduces himself. "My name is Yuan, and I'm a hardcore gamer. Right now, I'm trying to unlock all the achievements in a game called Cangyuan." He then mutters to himself, "Ran Qingmo is such a good person, why does she have to die in every ending?" The thought makes him angry. He slams his hand on the table. Is cheating the only way to save her? But there's a glass of water on the table. It spills, pouring all over the keyboard. Suddenly, Yuan feels a powerful electric shock. The PC screen flashes brightly and starts pulling him inside. The scene shifts again, straight into the world of the game, right where the battle happened earlier. Our main character wakes up inside the game world, slowly opening his eyes. The moment he does, his head starts pounding painfully. He yells, "My head hurts so much! I was just playing a game in my room, wasn't I?" Confused, he looks around, and sees the same corpses lying on the ground in front of him. He screams in terror. "See corpses!" Panicking, he starts running away, thinking, "Am I dreaming?" While running, he suddenly bumps into something soft. What's going on? He looks up, and freezes. Something big, soft, and right in front of him stands none other than Ran Qingmo herself. Ran Qingmo glares at him angrily and slaps him hard, pushing him away. You're in my way." Seeing her in real life, Yuan screams, Ran Qingmo." He stares at her, thinking to himself, "She's so beautiful, like an angel descended from heaven." Then he shakes his head. "No! This isn't the time to fall for her." Coming back to his senses, Yuan nervously explains, "Oh, let me explain. I didn't mean to block your way. I didn't see anything either." But just then, behind him, the hand of a huge statue starts moving, about to attack him. Before the hand can reach him, Ran Qingmo swings her sword in a lightning-fast slash, cutting the statue clean in two. When Yuan turns around and sees it, he's completely shocked. She cut that entire Buddha statue in half. Wait, did that statue just move on its own? Was it trying to ambush me? Then a voice echoes from the statue. "Third young master, run!" Hearing that voice, Yuan clutches his head. Flashes of memories flood his mind. He panics. This is exactly what happens in Cangyuan, when the Prime Minister's third son is kidnapped by Ran Qingmo. In other words, I'd been transported inside the game, and I'd become the third son of the final boss. Not only that, in all 25 timelines, this character dies tragically in 25 different ways. Our main character's new identity, this body, is named Su Changtian. From now on, we'll call him Su Chatian. Regaining his composure, Su Chatian asks Ran Qingmo. So, you are? She coldly replies, Ran Qingmo. At that moment, all the pieces click in Su Changtian's mind. Everything connects. I can handle being transported to another world, but why did I have to end up in the body of such a useless extra? He starts panicking but quickly tries to calm himself. Don't panic. I'm a veteran who's played countless games. I've seen tons of transmigration plots. Ran Qingmo just stares at him in confusion. Su Changtian thinks to himself. Transmigrators always get some cheat ability or a system, right? And just as he thinks that, a system window appears before him. Congratulations, player 1141415. System successfully binding after transmigration. Loading. Seeing this, Su Changtian cheers. Yes. I knew it. But then another message appears. Calculating transmigrated priority. Unfortunately, due to the recent surge in transmigrators, player 1141415 has not been selected to receive a system. Thank you for your support. Su Changtian freezes, then explodes in rage. Support my ass! What kind of system shows up just to leave? Then another message pops up. As appreciation for player 1141415's courageous transmigration, you are gifted the All Achievements Unlocked preview function. Su Changtian frowns. What's the point of that? The system replies. It's useless, but you can rewatch any achievement storyline you've previously completed, anytime. Furious, Su Changtian shouts. What am I supposed to do with that? The system beeps. Thank you for your participation. We look forward to your next transmigration. Hey! Come back here! He yells, but the system vanishes completely. Left helpless, Su Changtian looks toward Ran Qingmo. She coldly orders, Follow me. Then she turns and walks off, with him reluctantly following behind. As they walk, Su Changtian thinks, letting this woman kidnap me is a one-way ticket to death. I need to find a way to escape. Suddenly, he remembers his so-called useless system and opens it again. Found it, phew. He reads through the data. So, her goal is to capture me and use me to threaten my father, to stop him from starting a war. Understanding the plan, he decides to make a bold move. Miss Ran, he says, stopping her. I know your objective. You want to use me as a hostage to force my father to release the 400 disciples of the Sword Sect. Ran Qingmo freezes in shock, then angrily draws her sword. How do you know that? Seeing her reaction, Su Changtian panics internally. Crap! I said too much. He thinks. For a player, the fact that the Prime Minister plans to destroy the Tianmen Sword Sect is common knowledge. But for people in this world, it's a top secret. At this point in time, the Sword Sect's leader is still the great Yuan Empire's honored imperial preceptor, and my father's old friend. The idea that my father would destroy the Sword Sect is so unbelievable that even the sect master himself wouldn't believe it. And now I've blurted it out, my character profile is shattered. Fine, first I need to calm her down. He nervously laughs and says, Don't be so tense. Forget how I know, I just want to talk. But Ran Qingmo slowly raises her sword again, and in the next instant she swings, slicing Su Changtian's head clean off. As he dies, his last thought is, I died? Just like that? The screen fades to black. The end. But then the scene changes again. A drop of water falls from a leaf. We see Su Changtian. He isn't dead. He's still alive. Shocked, he wonders, I'm still alive? He looks at Ran Qingmo and realizes. That must have been an illusion, a warning from her. Ran Qingmo walks up to him and coldly asks, "How did you know?" This time, she actually presses her sword against his throat. "Were you part of it too?" Facing death this close, Su Changtian thinks frantically. "No, I have to find a way out of this or I'll really die." He gathers his courage, pushes her sword away slightly, and says, "Miss Ran, you look surprised, and rightly so. Why would my father involve someone like me, a useless good-for-nothing, in such a secret? Besides, Miss Ran, compared to the Prime Minister's son knowing this secret, I'm more curious. How did a disciple of the Sword Sect learn about it?" Su Changtian had turned the tables. Ran Qingmo frowns, her anger slightly cooling. "What do you mean by that?" she asks, lowering her sword a little. Su Changtian thinks, "It's working. Keep the pressure." He confidently continues, "My point is, for over 1,300 years, the Great Yuan Empire has stood alongside the Tianwei Sword Sect. Every sect master has served as the empire's national teacher. The current sect master is even the crown prince's martial arts tutor. The fate of the Sword Sect and the Great Yuan Empire are intertwined. If one flourishes, the other thrives. If one falls, so does the other. On a personal level, my father and your sect master have been close friends for decades. As an honored disciple of the Sword Sect, Miss Ran, doesn't it strike you as suspicious that someone convinced you my father intends to destroy your sect?" Ran Qingmo falls silent, clearly thinking. Ever since he woke up, he's been acting like a completely different person. She muses. His heartbeat is fast. He's not as calm as he appears. Then Su Changtian plays his final card. "Miss Ran, a threat that can't be carried out is nothing more than a joke. Let's talk. I can help you." Ran Qingmo studies him again, thinking, this is nothing like the useless fool from the rumors. His heartbeat is steady now. Just how much does he know? After a moment, she finally lowers her sword and sheathes it. Su Changtian's eyes light up. Cool. In real life, she's so much cooler than on the computer screen. But then Ran Qingmo picks up a wooden stick from the ground. Su Changtian blinks, confused. The next moment, thunk! Ran Qingmo throws it straight at him, hitting him square on the head. RMC immediately collapses, unconscious. Ran Qingmo just says coldly, "Humph." Then the scene shifts again, to a cave. Rain pours outside. Inside the cave, our main character lies on the ground. Slowly, he regains consciousness, holding the spot where he was hit. "Ow, my head hurts." Su Changtian sits up, shivering all over. "My body feels so cold." He looks up and sees Ran Qingmo sitting quietly nearby, soaked from the rain, perfectly calm. He grumbles to himself. This woman changes her mood faster than flipping a page. Was hitting me with that wooden club really necessary? He opens his system screen again, checking through it while thinking. No wonder in every timeline this third young master always dies during his own kidnapping. This crazy woman knocked out a sick man with a club and even brought along a hemp rope. He angrily closes the system and shouts at her. "Did you not notice we've gone off the story path?" Ran Qingmo calmly shakes her head. That makes Su Changtian explode. "If you don't want me to freeze to death here, then at least help me light a fire," she replies indifferently. "I don't have any flint," Su Changtian snaps. "Then use your chi," he thinks. In this world, chi is basically a universal energy source. Even if the game didn't show it, for a top-tier fighter like Ran Qingmo, lighting a fire should be easy. But instead of fire, she conjures ice in her hand and passes it to him. "My chi only generates ice. Will that do?" Su Changtian grabs the ice, then yells in frustration, throwing it away. "I'm sick. I need a campfire, hot water, and food." But Ran Qingmo ignores him, turning her head away coldly. Grinding his teeth, Su Changtian mutters, "Damn it!" Soon, his strength fades, and he starts collapsing again. "My body can't take it anymore." He stumbles forward, right onto Ran Qingmo, and falls against her. As he collapses, he thinks weakly. "My body feels so light, so weak. Am I running a fever? I can't believe this. I just got here, and I'm already about to go offline. Is this what death feels like? Well, not too bad. But just then, Qingmo starts making him drink something. As soon as the liquid slides down his throat, Xu Changtian thinks, what is this? So sweet. I'm not dead yet? Qingmo ran, she's saving me. After finishing the drink, when he starts regaining consciousness, he pushes her away in confusion. Let me go! He shouts, stumbling backward. As soon as he steps back, he immediately asks, what did you make me drink? Then his gaze catches something inside the cave, and his eyes widen in shock. What is that? There was an enormous python coiled there. He stares in disbelief. Such a huge python? The next moment, Qingmo walks up to the beast. From the horn on its head, she extracts the same liquid into a bottle. When Xu Changtian looks carefully, he realizes that Qingmo has pinned that giant snake to the ground using a massive icicle. So she's nailed it down with ice, he thinks, astonished. Qingmo walks back, hands him the bottle, and says, Drink. He takes it, thinking, so this icy essence, was brought here to save me. Then Qingmo gathers some damp wood from somewhere. Xu Changtian, sitting to the side, watches and thinks, how could anyone light such wet wood? But in the next instant, Qingmo walks over to the python again, pulls out its long tongue, and orders, Breathe fire for me. Xu Changtian's jaw drops. The next second, the python actually breathes fire onto the wood, igniting it instantly. Watching the flames rise, Xu Changtian mutters to himself, although switching from 2.5D pixel style to first-person view feels like a big change, if I'm not wrong, this creature should be the Flame Spirit Python, a rare elite fire-type material beast with a certain level of intelligence. Once defeated, it can be captured as a pet and later nurtured into a Flame Spirit Flood Dragon. Its Flame Spirit essence has many uses. It's an auxiliary ingredient in refining certain pills. It can strengthen tendons, cleanse marrow, dispel cold, nourish yin, and fortify yang. But since it's a lustful yet cowardly beast, it also has a mild aphrodisiac effect. Moreover, this thing seems to be one of the ingredients used in the Demonic Path storyline's special aphrodisiac, Yuan powder. As he's thinking this, he looks toward Qingmo, and freezes. Qingmo is taking off her clothes. Xu Changtian panics instantly, shouting, Why you? What are you doing? Qingmo removes her upper garment, and walks past him calmly. Xu Changtian blushes furiously, stunned. Huh! Could this be the aphrodisiac's effect? But Qingmo walks straight to the python, holds out her clothes, and commands, Dry these. The python obediently begins to blow warm air from its eyes to dry the clothes. Realizing his misunderstanding, Xu Changtian mutters awkwardly, Oh, so you were just drying your clothes. After some time, Qingmo puts her dry clothes back on and sits in a corner to meditate. Meanwhile, Xu Changtian starts feeling cold himself. Damn it, I need to dry my clothes too, he thinks. He walks over to the python to do the same, but the beast glares at him and growls angrily. Seeing this, Xu Changtian quickly points toward Qingmo, threatening it. The python immediately becomes frightened and obediently starts drying his clothes too. While his clothes dry, Xu Changtian chuckles inwardly. See, beast? In the end, you had to help me. But then, enraged, the python suddenly spits a massive fireball straight at him. Xu Changtian's eyes widen in horror. Death flashes before him. What? The fire is about to hit when Qingmo instantly steps in. She slashes the python's tongue in a single swift motion, blocks the flames in front of Xu Changtian, and with another clean strike, cuts off the python's head, ending it completely. She then turns toward him, expression cold. What were you doing? Xu Changtian's face is pale from shock. He stays silent for a while, lost in thought. In Cangyuan's storyline, the Zhu family's third young master dies 9 times while being kidnapped by Ran Qingmo, each time in a different way. Freezing to death was just one of them. Drowning in half a meter of water, falling off a cliff, beaten to death by a stick, thinking about it now, those weren't accidents. Someone wants me dead here in the Wanqing mountain range. Realizing this, he says, Miss Ran, we need to talk. Qingmo thinks for a moment, then replies, Fine. Speak. Relieved, Xu Chatian sighs inwardly. Good. At least she's willing to listen. I really thought she'd hit me with a stick again. He straightens up and says seriously, Miss Ran, what I want to say is simple. For both our sakes, it's better if we work together. I know many people want me dead because of my father, but the beasts of the Wanqing mountain range shouldn't be under anyone's influence. Still, that flame spirit python, which fears death above all, tried to kill me even after you struck its vital point. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Someone wants me dead, right along the path where you captured me. If I die, your plan to use me to threaten my father will never work. Hearing all this, Qingmo coldly replies, But you don't have qi. Xu Chatian admits silently she's right. To Ran Qingmo, a qi-less man is no different from an ant. He quickly clarifies, Don't misunderstand. When I say cooperation, I don't mean fighting. You have the map of the Wanqing mountain range, right? Qingmo nods and hands it to him. He compares it with his system map and says, As long as we can locate our position, I can offer a place to hide. Thank goodness my achievement system includes a map function. The details are a bit different, but the general layout still matches. After checking for a while, he exclaims, This spot! When I was young, my father brought me and my two brothers here. He has a cave residence nearby, full of cultivation resources, enough for us to stay safely for a while. Qingmo asks, Your father knows about it too? Xu Chatian smiles confidently. What's there to worry about? Before someone like you, everything I do is basically transparent. Qingmo thinks for a moment, then nods. All right. Let's go. The two leave the cave. Outside, the rain still pours. After walking for an hour, Xu Changtian can hardly go on. Frustrated, he slams his stick on the ground and shouts, If you don't know the way, stop pretending! I'm such an idiot, he curses inwardly. I actually expected an ice-cold girl who could freeze a hostage to death to know her way around a forest. Take me to the highest point nearby, he says. Maybe then I can roughly figure out where we are. Qingmo hesitates, then replies, Okay. She takes off, grabbing Xu Changtian along with her. In midair, she uses her ice magic to create an umbrella and a platform beneath their feet. When they reach high enough, she asks, Now this is high enough to see clearly, right? Xu Changtian looks down, matches the view with his map, and says, Yeah, let me check carefully. He scans the area, then spots a mountain. That's Tianmen Mountain. Qingmo looks that way too. The cave you mentioned, it's up there, isn't it? Yes. He nods. He stares at the cave entrance carved into the cliff face. In Cangyuan's storyline, that's a hidden map location. The condition to enter is jumping off Tianmen Mountain. If your fortune value is over 50, you'll survive the fall. But this third young master's fortune value is only 3. Even if he jumps 100 times, he won't make it in alive. But with Ran Qingmo here, her immense ice power should guarantee a safe landing. He turns to her and says, Let's go. We're heading for Tianmen Mountain. Qingmo nods. All right. But in the very next instant, Qingmo vanishes, leaving Xu Changtian alone midair. The ice platform disappears beneath his feet, and he plummets downward, screaming in terror. Damn it! Are you seriously trying to kill me again? He was just falling when suddenly, Qingmo swiftly descended and caught Xu Changtian in midair. She held him in her arms and landed gracefully, like a hero descending from the skies, while poor Xu Changtian looked more like the damsel in distress resting in her embrace. But as soon as they landed, Qingmo heartlessly dropped him to the ground and said coldly, Let's go. Xu Changtian, fuming, stood up. You mean we're going to walk there? Qingmo turned around and replied, And what else? Xu Changtian shouted. But you can fly, can't you? If we walk, it'll take us at least 10 days, Qingmo calmly said. But I can't fly. Hearing that, Xu Changtian was completely dumbfounded. Qingmo explained further. What you just saw was my cultivation method, ice cloud steps. Su Cha Tian, irritated, yelled. Now's not the time to argue about fancy names. Can't you just carry me and fly? Qingmo glared at him, her piercing eyes making Su Changtian nervous. Why are you staring at me like that? He asked. Qingmo replied. Your body is too weak. If I carried you while flying too fast, you'd be torn apart into pieces. Hearing that, Su Changtian went silent and thought to himself, she's right. In this world, cultivators' physical strength is far beyond normal humans. With my frail young master body, having her carry me at full speed would be like signing my own death sentence. Then, an idea struck him. If that's the case, how about we find something for me to ride on? Qingmo gave him a thumbs up. Good idea, she said, and immediately dashed into the forest. After she left, Su Changtian sighed in relief. Good thing Qingmo reacted in time. If she had really carried me at that speed, I'd already be dead. Just then, the sounds of birds screeching came from deep inside the forest, followed by beasts fleeing in terror. Seeing this, Su Changtian thought, just one roar made hundreds of beasts scatter. What kind of monster is Qingmo trying to catch? Soon, loud sounds of battle echoed from the forest, mixed with the pained roars of a beast. Su Changtian muttered. That beast's cries, they're getting weaker. Then, he noticed the bushes in front of him shaking. The next moment, Qingmo emerged, dragging a massive beast she had beaten half to death. She asked. Will this do? Su Changtian, shocked, said. Well, it doesn't look very cooperative. As soon as he said that, the beast roared angrily at him, but Qingmo stepped forward, placed her hand on it, and instantly the beast started mewling like a frightened kitten. Then she casually picked up the same stick she had used to beat it. Seeing that, the beast trembled and began crying louder, meowing pitifully as if begging for mercy. Apparently, Qingmo had taught the beast quite well. Its cries could probably be heard miles away. Scene shift. Back at the battlefield where the earlier fight had taken place, the bodies of those men were still lying where they'd fallen. Two people arrived, a man and a woman. Looking at the corpses, the man said, What a mess. Whoever kidnapped the third young master isn't ordinary. The woman asked, Can you tell who did this? The man replied, How could I? These are just ordinary sword energy slashes, not even proper sword techniques. The woman pointed out. They formed a formation. The man nodded. Yes, but still, they were all killed with a single strike. The woman frowned. Can you do that? The man thought for a moment and said, Well, at least, I couldn't cut this spirit Buddha in one strike without using source energy. That means the one who did this might be stronger than me. Then the man explained. The eldest young master has already left the imperial capital for Jingjiang city because of the third young master. Many people in the city have already been killed. He ordered the woman, You go back and report. Whoever attacked this time might be a grandmaster. The woman asked, And you? The man answered, I'll keep chasing them. Even with the third young master, a master can't run that fast. I'll leave marks along the way. Hurry and return quickly, or by the time you catch up. He started walking away and added, I might already be a corpse. Watching him leave, the woman fell deep into thought. Scene shift, back to our main characters, Su Changtian and Qingmo. They had subdued the tiger beast and were now riding on its back. The poor creature was trudging forward, crying softly as it walked. Su Changtian asked nervously, You're sure this tiger won't suddenly bite me, right? Qingmo, in her usual cold tone, said, It wouldn't dare. Still uneasy, Su Changtian muttered, It still feels kinda unsafe, but at least it's better than walking. But the next moment, a sharp pain shot through his chest, and blood spurted from his mouth. Qingmo turned to him in alarm. What happened to you? Su Changtian, writhing in pain, thought, Damn it, in the game there was never any record of the third young master having an illness. What's wrong with this useless body? Then he lost consciousness and fell off the tiger. Seeing him fall, Qingmo panicked and shouted his name, rushing forward to catch him. Several days passed before Su Chatian finally regained consciousness. When he opened his eyes, Qingmo was sitting beside him. "You're awake?" she asked. He sat up, looked at her, and then climbed down from the tiger. "How long was I unconscious?" 4 days, Qingmo replied. Hearing that, Su Chatian frowned. "What kind of sickness is this? When I played the game, nothing like this ever happened." He opened his system interface mentally and analyzed. It doesn't look like poisoning either. With my father around, no one would risk their 9 generations to harm me. Could it be I've awakened some special constitution? Maybe something like a sword embryo spirit body or divine soul bone. Did my cheat ability just activate? As he was thinking, Qingmo spoke from behind. "Your rejection syndrome is gone." Hearing that, Su Chatian was stunned. "What did you just say?" "Then, we're given an important rule of this world. When someone reaches the primordial realm, there are 2 ways to ascend. Through martial arts, which grants rebirth through blood, making the body indestructible. Through chi cultivation, which strengthens the spirit and will, allowing the soul to leave its own body and possess another." Learning this, Su Changyan thought, so it's true, there really is a possession system in this world. I never imagined transmigrating here would cause something like rejection syndrome. He was lost in thought, but Qingmo was staring at him like a ghost. Finally, Su Changyan asked nervously, "Miss Ran, what do you mean by that?" Qingmo thought for a while, then said something that made his heart drop. "You're not Su Changyan." Hearing this, Su Changyan was utterly shocked. "Now I have only 2 choices, admit it or deny it. If I deny it, what excuse can I make to fool her?" He took a deep breath, picked up a bottle near the tiger, and thought, "And if I admit it, what will the consequences be?" Then he drank from the bottle and turned to her. "Whether I'm Su Changyan or not, does it really matter to you?" Qingmo thought for a moment and said, "No, it doesn't. But why don't you know anything about cultivation?" Su Changyan immediately acted pitiful. "Because I've lost many of my memories. Most of them are fragmented," Qingmo countered. "Even about that cave mansion you mentioned?" He replied confidently. "Of course." But Qingmo still looked suspicious. "Then how did you know about the sword set?" That question caught Su Changyan off guard. To divert her, he said, "Miss Ran, didn't we agree not to interfere in each other's matters? Besides, that person won't change his decision because of me, or rather, because of Su Changyan." Seeing her grab the wooden stick again, Su Changyan panicked. "I'm not trying to run. Just please put the stick down." She did. Then Su Changyan made her an offer. "If you truly want to prevent the Sword Sect's destruction, there's a better way. If you change your mind, I can help you." Qingmo rejected him immediately, but before they could speak further, the ground began to shake violently, as if an earthquake had struck. Su Changyan, terrified, hugged the tiger and screamed, "What's happening? Is this an earthquake?" Qingmo, calm as ever, said, "No, it's not an earthquake." Then she added, "It's coming." Hearing that, Su Changyan grew even more scared. "What's coming?" The next instant, a massive figure appeared before them, a giant python. They looked like mere ants before it. And that python's name was the 7-Life Python. As soon as he heard that name, Su Qingtang was completely shocked. He thought in his mind, 1, 2, 3, 6, this is the 6-mold 7-Life Python. He already knew about this python. A 7-Life Python could shed its skin 7 times, cultivating anew with each shedding. After the final molting, it could completely transform into a human form, and its cultivation speed would become equal to that of the human race. But the most important thing was, this python was one of the future female leads. When it shed its skin for the 7th time and took human form, it would go to the great Yuan dynasty, become a lawful wife and lowly named Ji Qingyu, and meet the protagonist in Jingjiang City. Meanwhile, the python was already fully prepared to attack them, while Zhang Shengtian was panicking in his mind, thinking, why is this plot point happening now? The heroine wasn't supposed to meet death, that is, the third young master, here. Just then, the python swung its tail toward Zhang Xiangtian. The tail was about to hit him when Qingmo suddenly appeared in front, blocking the strike. She saved him and shouted angrily, "What are you standing there for?" Qingmo slashed with her sword, forcing the python's tail back. Then she grabbed Zhang Xiangtian and threw him far away. He spun several times in the air before landing right on top of the tiger. The tiger took the opportunity to escape, but Qingmo glared at it fiercely and threatened, "Protect him well! If he gets even a scratch, you'll see what happens." Hearing that threat, all of the tiger's bravery vanished. It immediately turned timid like a cat. Then Qingmo conjured a small ice sword using her ice magic, handed it to Zhang Xiangtian, and said, "Take this. Go first. If anything strange happens, break it immediately." Zhang Xiangtian asked, "And what about you?" Qingmo stepped forward to face the massive python, preparing her energy. "I'm going to kill it," she declared, unleashing a powerful attack. A fierce battle broke out between the two, so intense that even the tiger could barely stand. The tiger finally managed to regain its balance and began to run away, carrying Zhang Xiangtian on its back. Zhang Xiangtian shouted toward Qingmo, "I'm heading to the peak of Tianmen Mountain, to Zuekthan Cliff. I'll wait for you there." Qingmo, while blocking the python's attacks, replied coldly, "No need." But Zhang Xiangtian yelled again, louder this time, "I said I'll wait for you at Zuekthan Cliff." This time, Qingmo accepted his words. "Fine," she said, then unleashed a fierce attack that blasted the python away. However, the python suddenly turned from her and released a powerful energy blast directly toward Zhang Xiangtian. Even Qingmo was surprised. The attack was fast, racing straight toward him. Zhang Xiangtian panicked and shouted to the tiger, "Think of something fast, or I'll drag you down with me." In the next moment, the tiger leaped in front of him, shielding him with its body. It took the entire energy attack itself, protecting Zhang Xiangtian. But the python didn't stop. It launched another attack straight at Zhang Xiangtian again. Seeing this, Zhang Xiangtian yelled in frustration, "What kind of nonsense is this?" Just then, Qingmo swooped down, slashing her sword with immense force, smashing the python into the ground. Taking advantage of the moment, the tiger dashed away at full speed with Zhang Xiangtian on its back. As they ran, Zhang Xiangtian thought anxiously, "It really seems like she wants to kill me. Could it be that Yiling Xie ordered her to do it?" Meanwhile, the python gathered a huge energy blast in its mouth, but Qingmo also readied her sword for a counterattack. Their strikes collided, and the entire area filled with smoke. On the other side, Zhang Xiangtian, still riding on the tiger, raced toward the mountains. He muttered, "Miss Ran, you have to take me to the cave beneath Silk Cliff right now." After some time, they finally reached the mountain. But the sight before them left Zhang Xiangtian completely shocked. He exclaimed, "It looks like the mountain itself has a huge hole in it." And then, staring ahead, Zhang Xiangtian shouted at the top of his lungs, "It's Tianmen Mountain!" Upon seeing Tianmen Mountain, Zhang Xiangtian's expression turned serious. "Is this sword intent? Could the heavenly gate atop this mountain truly have been pierced by a single sword strike?" He began to recall, thinking deeply. If a being of such might truly exists, then would not that northern god of war in the great Yen imperial court, who stands against my father, become nothing more than a laughingstock? No matter how masterfully an army is led, it can never withstand even one effortless strike from a peerless master. What meaning would the title god of war hold for one like him? But then blood began to flow from his nose, first a trickle, then a torrent. The lion beast immediately sensed it. When it turned to look, it panicked upon seeing his condition. However, Zhang Xiangtian steadied himself, glanced at the blood on his hand, and said, "Just a few glances at this sword intent, and already my strength falters? This game world far exceeds the bounds of my current understanding." But suddenly, there was an explosion behind the lion beast. Zhang Xiangtian's eyes widened in shock. "HM? What's happening now?" And then they saw it. The gigantic python came crashing down onto the ground. A barrage of attacks rained upon its body. They were unleashed by Qingmo, leaving the python gravely wounded until it collapsed before Zhang Xiangtian. The lion beast managed to flee just in time, narrowly escaping the chaos. Meanwhile, Zhang Xiangtian began coughing, struggling to comprehend what had happened. When he lifted his gaze, he saw Qingmo standing atop the enormous serpent's body. He was completely stunned. But Qingmo herself was utterly exhausted, her head hung low, and her sword dripped with the python's crimson blood. At that moment, Zhang Xiangtian cried out her name, shouting, "Qingmo!" But Qingmo remained silent. Her gaze was fixed upon the lotus embedded within the python's heart. With one swift motion of her sword, she cut it free. Seeing this, Zhang Xiangtian was even more astonished. For that was no ordinary treasure. It was a snake heart lotus. He slowly stepped forward and picked it up, realizing. To be exact, a 6th revolution snake heart lotus. It's beyond price, one of the most exalted alchemical materials in Cangyuan. With it, one can refine a golden scale pill or a blood spirit rebirth pill. The blood spirit rebirth pill soothes the soul and unites it with the body. With that, I could overcome the rejection sickness and merge body and will soul into one seamless whole. Then his thoughts grew heavy. And the most astonishing part, Ji Qingyue, one of the heroines of this game, has actually died. The story I once knew has already been altered because of my presence. Will the knowledge I possess of this game still hold any worth in the days to come? Just then, Zhang Xiangtian noticed Qingmo again. She had spent all her energy, and her body was beginning to collapse. As she fell from atop the giant python, Zhang Xiangtian rushed forward and caught her in his arms. He grew anxious, shaking her gently, trying to wake her. "Qingmo! Wake up!" he shouted, his voice echoing across the entire mountain. On the other side of the mountain, 2 figures, a man and a woman, arrived at the battlefield where Qingmo had fought the massive python. They were stunned by the devastation around them. The man muttered, "How fortunate I didn't pursue them alone. By the time you returned with your report, I'd have been nothing but a frozen sculpture in this vast block of ice." The woman observed, "A 6th revolution 7-life python, one more life, and it would have fully stabilized its human form. It must have been a prominent figure among the serpent demon clan of the foreign demon nation." The man nodded gravely. "To face such a formidable being and wield a sword art of that level, there can be only one person." The woman fell silent, and the man continued, "Ran Qingmo of the Sword Sect." The woman's eyes widened. "You mean the 3rd young master was taken by Ran Qingmo?" The man bowed his head slightly. "I cannot say for certain. At the very least, Ran Qingmo was protecting him. Inform the eldest young master and the others. We've located the 3rd young master's trail." The woman hesitated. "But we haven't yet," the man interrupted firmly. "We've tracked them this far, and the one who abducted the 3rd young master hasn't even tried to hide their path. They are heading to Tianen Mountain." Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountain, Zhang Xiangtian remained by Qingmo's side, deeply worried for her life. So in the previous part, we saw that Qingmo had fainted, and at the start of this part we see that huge mountain. Then Qingmo regains consciousness, and she is in Su Changtian's arms. After waking up, she says, "Ah, the cave abode you mentioned, where is it?" Su Changtian tells her, "It's beneath Xiantian Cliff." And the 2 of them sit on the lion, looking at the bottomless abyss. Su Changtian and Qingmo are looking downward, then Su Changtian says to Qingmo, "You're so severely injured. Why don't you rest a little longer before we travel?" But Qingmo immediately says to Su Changtian, "Su Changtian's father's men will be here soon." Su Changtian is shocked, and he starts imagining what would happen if this body's father catches him. "If the original's father finds out I possessed his son, I'll be flayed and have my tendons pulled out at the very least." Qingmo asks, "You seem very anxious. Why?" "I won't tell anyone about you." Su Changtian gets a little flustered. "I won't tell anyone about you." Then he gently asks Qingmo, "Can your body fly in its current state?" Qingmo says, "As you say, It's severely injured. Then Su Changtian gets off the lion and lets Qingmo sit beside it. He starts thinking, staying here is a dead end. I have to think of something. I've got it. Su Changtian's mind lights up with an idea. He turns around and looks at Qingmo, then lifts her into his arms. Qingmo asks what he intends to do, and in response Su Changtian says, Miss Ran, how about we make a bet? Qingmo tells him to explain. Su Changtian says, If we survive, you'll owe me a favor and must do one thing for me. Qingmo stays silent for a moment, then says, But we won't survive. Su Changtian doesn't like hearing that, and he says, I'm talking about the off chance that we do. If we do survive, it will be because my cave abode saved us. My saving your life should be enough for you to owe me one favor, shouldn't it? Qingmo thinks for a moment, then says, Fine. If we survive, I'll owe you a favor. Su Changtian agrees. It's a deal. And he jumps into the bottomless abyss with Qingmo in his arms. The lion is shocked as it watches him fall, and Su Changtian rapidly descends into the abyss. He is thinking, if I remember correctly, Ran Qingmo's fortune seems to be 93. And at this moment, her fortune value is 93. Su Changtian falls deeper and deeper. On the other side, we see several people who have come specifically to search for Su Changtian. Zhou Qin is waiting for everyone. He sees one man and says, You all arrived early. Have you found the third young master? The man in white clothes says, Zhou Qin, the third young master was taken down the cliff by a woman. The mist below Xiantian Cliff can block soul probing. Zhou Qin walks up to the white-clothed man, puts his hand on his shoulder, and says, Long time no see. Weren't you accompanying the Crown Prince on a diplomatic mission to the northern barbarians? When did you get back? After this is over and we're back in Jingjiang City, I'll treat you to drinks at the Drunken Immortal Tavern. But the man in white shrugs his hand off and turns his head away. Then he says, The eldest young master has already gone down into Xiantian Cliff. Be more discreet. Zhou Qin says, All right, we'll talk about drinks later in private. But since you all arrived first, you should know who abducted the third young master, right? The white-clothed man says, Ran Qingmo. And she ignored us when we tried to contact her. Zhou Qin thinks, it really is Ran Qingmo. Ciziu sent a message, but Ran Qingmo still fled with the third young master. The national teacher and the prime minister, could there be some unknown friction between them? Suddenly, a strong wind blows. Zhou Qin notices it, looks back, and sees that two more people have arrived. They all greet the newcomer. Greetings, eldest young master, he says. The Yuan illusory misformation, just as I thought, a premeditated plot. To think Ran Qingmo knew of such a bewildering formation here. And this man is the Prime Minister's eldest son, Su Changge. He continues, This formation was built along with Tianen Mountain and cannot be broken by force. However, after a month, the source chi will be depleted, and the mist will disperse on its own. During this time, I must trouble you gentlemen to stand guard here. Inger, don't follow me for now. Just wait here. Inger asks, Eldest young master, where are you going? But Su Changge does not reply and starts walking away. Suddenly, they see a huge flying snake head appear in the air. Su Changge says, Gentlemen, I must leave for the ancient abyss for a while. The journey is long, and I may not be able to return within a month. I'll leave Ran Qingmo to you, gentlemen. Do not hold back. As for Changtian, although Changtian is foolish, an undeniable piece of trash, no matter how useless he is, it's not the place of an outsider to discipline him. I must ask you gentlemen to ensure Changtian's safety at all costs. The guards greet him and say, Yes, sir. As Su Changge leaves, he is thinking, 3 years ago, Chang'an was already lost. If something happens to Changtian now, even I, his son, wouldn't be able to stop what my father might do. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the abyss, we see a cave. Inside the cave, a drop of water falls from a rock and lands on Su Changtian's forehead, waking him up. Qingmo is sitting beside him, and she asks, Are you awake? Then she says, Can you let go of my hand? Su Changtian notices that he is grasping Qingmo's hand tightly, and he quickly releases it. But he knows exactly why he held it, because Qingmo's fortune value is high, and his is low. If he let go, he could have fallen into death. He thinks, with the original body's fortune stat as low as 3, I'd probably be smithereens by now if I had let go. Qingmo silently gazes at Su Changtian. Su Changtian gets a bit confused, but then Qingmo softly says thank you. Hearing that, Su Changtian thinks, why did this big chunk of ice soften all of a sudden? Su Changtian thinks for a moment and says, we survived, so I won the bet. You owe me a favor now. Miss Ran, the words thank you are the most worthless thing in this world. Qingmo gets a little flustered and asks what exactly he wants. But Su Changtian says plainly, are you thinking of something weird? Then he turns around and sits down, saying, hold on to it. For now, there's nothing I need you to do for me. Su Changtian looks behind him and sees a pool and a jade bed. He thinks, if I remember correctly, there's still treasure in this hidden secret realm. He stands up and walks toward the jade bed, searching inside the pillow. Finally, he finds something. A samurai ring. Su Changtian thinks, unlike in some other cultivation worlds where everyone has a storage ring, in this world the samurai ring is a supreme treasure. Unfortunately, the samurai ring needs source chi to be activated. An ordinary person like me can't use it at all. Qingmo is confused. Su Changtian hands her the ring and says, inside are medicine to heal your wounds and some of my things from before I took over this body. I can't take them out right now, so I can only have you help me. Qingmo injects her spiritual energy into it, and the ring reacts. Countless items spill out, medicine, clothes, some books. Qingmo empties everything and says it is now empty. Su Changtian hurriedly grabs everything and says he knows. Looking at the items, he thinks, a cultivation method, a combat technique, and a set of blood jade glass clothes. And these 3 bottles of medicinal pills. The 9 returns pill, a sacred healing medicine. The blood spirit body fusing pill, used to pacify the soul and fuse with the body. The baleful pill, essential for cultivating the blood primal heartfall art. Then Su Changtian gives Qingmo 1 pill and says, you can keep this 9 returns pill to heal yourself. But he clutches the rest of the items tightly and says, I'm not giving you the rest of the stuff, you know. Qingmo looks toward the jade box and says she wants that. Su Changtian also looks at the jade box, happily brings it forward but says, you can only take 1. Qingmo looks at the jade box and thinks. Su Changtian gets nervous and asks what she's doing. But Qingmo says she wants to trade for the jade box. Su Changtian thinks, I remember putting this thing in my clothes before jumping off the cliff. She probably took her spoils of ore back while I was unconscious, that big ice block. Then he says, I'll accept it. Help me put it in the samurai ring. Qingmo agrees. Okay. Su Changtian gives her the box, then sits on the jade bed with his back turned, thinking, although I've obtained a blood spirit body fusing pill, I can't take it directly. A medicinal pill that's greatly beneficial to cultivators might be a potent poison to an ordinary person. Qingmo also wants to sit on the jade bed. I want to try sitting on it too, but she doesn't say it. Su Changtian looks at the book and thinks, I can only cultivate the blood primal heart art first. It's the only way to resolve the rejection between my body and soul right now. He begins reading, flipping pages. To be born from death, temper body and soul, heart source and soul of will, 100 C meridians, condensing acupoints, draw it into the body. But he understands nothing. He says, what even is all this? He holds his head and thinks, reality really isn't like a game where you can just move the mouse and one-click learn. Having an ordinary person like me learn one of the only 3 blood-red tier cultivation methods from Cangyuan is no different from having an elementary schooler build a nuclear bomb with their bare hands. Then his eyes fall on the pill bottle. He picks it up and thinks, if taking only the blood spirit body fusing pill would make my body explode and kill me, then. He picks up another pill bottle and, looking at both, thinks, if I take the baleful pill and the blood spirit body fusing pill together, would the effect be better? The part begins, and Su Changtian is looking at the pill bottle, and he starts thinking. The first phase of the baleful doom pill's effect strikes at the meridians, but for someone ordinary like me, it will force them open by tearing them apart. My meridians will rip completely, and my fragile life will be only a breath away from death. At that time, the second phase of the baleful doom pill's effect unfolds, speeding up the dissolution of the will soul by unimaginable degrees. Yet if I take the blood-spirit-body fusing pill quickly enough, I can use it to pull the fading will soul back together. The two forces, though utterly at odds, will combine under the guidance of the blood primal heartfall art. The will soul within me will shatter and reform again and again. Through repeating this cycle, my body and will soul will eventually align flawlessly. When that succeeds, my body and soul will reach their strongest state, and all 127 meridians in me will open completely. The meridian system is a crucial concept in Cangyuan. The more meridians a person unlocks, the less experience they require to advance each level. But simply, I will become one of the greatest talents in this entire world. No, I must calm myself first. Every great chance carries peril beside it. The blood primal heartfall art makes this plain. To master it, one must remain conscious and circulate it with unwavering will at the brink of death. That leaves only one choice. And then he turns back toward Qingmo. Qingmo becomes slightly surprised, and Su Changtian suddenly grabs Qingmo's hand and says, "Miss Ran, I need your help." Qingmo becomes a little surprised, but she says, You want to use that favor?" So Su Changtian says, "I'd like you to explain the basics of cultivation to me, things like drawing qi into the body, and what heart source and will soul mean." And Qingmo stands up and says, "You don't need a favor for that. I can teach you." Hearing this, Su Changtian becomes excited. "Excellent, let's begin at once." Then Qingmo says, "All right, remove your clothes." The moment Su Changtian hears this, his cheeks turn red, and he says, "We are alone in a cave. Isn't it improper for me to undress?" Qingmo does not understand Su Changtian's thought. She just stands silently. Then she says, "I am gravely wounded, and my qi control has weakened. If you stay clothed, you could be harmed." And Su Changtian starts taking off his clothes, muttering, "You could have explained that clearly in the first place." Su Changtian removes his clothes, but he becomes a little confused and looks toward his pants, asking Qingmo, "Must I remove those too?" But as soon as Su Changtian sees Qingmo's angry face, he gets scared. "Never mind, I understand." "I don't." Then Qingmo tells Su Changtian to lie down on the bed, and she brings her finger near his navel, pointing as she says, "My qi will enter you so you can learn to sense the acupoints." Su Changtian understands. "All right." Then Qingmo begins channeling her qi into Su Changtian's body. "This next part may sting. This is the Heroine acupoint. This is the Bailhai acupoint." As Qingmo clicks Su Changtian's acupoints one by one, Su Changtian begins feeling extreme pain. It feels as if his life is about to leave his body. After some time, Qingmo presses down his last acupoint, and Su Changtian lets out a breath of relief. Then Qingmo says, Did you recall them?" Su Changtian says, "I kind of did." Qingmo glares at Su Changtian and asks, "Kind of?" Su Changtian, panting, says, "Can you stop staring at me like I'm an idiot?" But Qingmo grabs Su Changtian's hand and says, "I'll teach you again." And Qingmo begins pressing Su Changtian's acupoints again and explaining them, and Su Changtian starts screaming loudly from the pain. His screams echo so loudly that they can be heard even from outside the cave. After this, many days pass. Qingmo says to Su Changtian, "A month has passed." By now Su Changtian has changed tremendously. He has learned to use his spiritual energy, and he swings his sword, then sheathes it, saying, "I've mastered the lotus sword art you taught me, and I now know all the meridians by heart." Then he looks at his hand. A faint flow of energy is shimmering over it, and seeing it he thinks, "I've trained for a full month. I should be ready to attempt the blood primal heartfall art." Just then, a dangerous pressure is generated outside the cave. Feeling it, Su Changtian becomes completely shocked, and he asks Qingmo what is happening outside. Qingmo explains that there is a formation outside, and she reacts calmly, saying that the formation is about to collapse. Su Chantian, a little nervous, asks Qingmo, "How long until it gives way?" Qingmo replies, "Only 4 hours." Outside, because of the formation, intense turbulence begins to rise. Thunder is rumbling all around it, and Su Chantian is thinking, "The Su family is right outside. If I do not fuse my soul now, once they find us, Miss Ran and I will be finished." And he looks at the blood primal heartfall art and thinks, "Only 4 hours remain. I must stake everything, even if it costs me my life." Then he says to Qingmo, "Miss Ran, can you force me into a near-death state?" Qingmo becomes slightly surprised and says, "I can." "But why?" In answer, Su Chantian says, "To save us both," Qingmo says. "But my injuries have already healed." Su Chantian says, "I know, but Su Chang'e is right outside this cave." And he begins thinking. In the original story, Su Chang'e chased Ran Qingmo all the way to the border of Great Yen, and struck her down in only 2 moves. Su Changtian lowers his head and says to Qingmo, 10 years ago, Su Chang'e's chi had already reached the origin realm. You cannot defeat him. Qingmo becomes a little confused, and then Su Changtian takes Qingmo's hand and says to her, "Unless you use me as a hostage to force Su Chang'e back long enough for you to escape." Qingmo sheathes her sword and says, "I owe you another favor. Tell me what you plan to do after you enter the near-death state." Then Su Changtian sits down on the bed and says, "Push me to the edge of death, but keep my mind awake. I have to take the baleful doom pill and the blood spirit body fusing pill at the same time, and then circulate the blood primal heartfall art to fuse my soul completely." He takes both pill bottles into his hands, and Qingmo asks him, "With that, will you survive?" Su Changtian says, "It is the only path left." Qingmo says, "Then prepare yourself." Then she gathers her spiritual energy into her palms, and she thrusts that energy forward towards Su Changtian. Because of it, his body begins freezing like ice, pain rushing through him, and he is thinking, "So cold. So painful. Is this what dying feels like? I cannot hold on much longer." Then Qingmo touches Su Changtian's forehead with her finger and forbids him from falling asleep, and she channels her energy into his forehead, reducing his pain. Su Changtian says thank you to Qingmo, then Su Changtian swallows both pills at once. The moment the pills slide down his throat, Su Changtian screams loudly as overwhelming spiritual energy surges into him, and he cries out, "To be born from death, to temper body and soul." Su Changtian grabs the book in his hands, and from the book a red energy begins to radiate. That red energy gathers over Su Changtian like a cloud, and slowly, that same red energy begins entering his body. Su Changtian begins absorbing it, and he starts remembering the past memories of the body's original owner. When he was secretly peeking through a window at a girl bathing. "Useless trash! You cannot even accomplish a simple task like this, right?" He sees how the original body owner used to bully others. "If you ever shame our family in public again, I will beat you to death myself in father's place. You fool! Look at the trouble you have caused throughout the imperial capital." Su Changtian was good at nothing. "You fail in cultivation, you failed the civil examinations. Su Changtian, why can you not be more like your second brother and fourth sister?" The original owner liked only pleasure and fun. "Ha ha! Su Changtian, you never failed to astonish me, even after only 3 days apart." And he remembers how his father punished him. "I leave for 3 months to battle the northern barbarians, and the moment I return, you have already stirred up such chaos. Well done. So now you even dare to lay a hand on Marquis Wuqing's own granddaughter, do you? Inger, fetch my whip. The thickest one." Now Su Changtian has received all of the original owner's memories. Then he wakes up, and Qingmo tells Su Changtian, "The formation outside has vanished. They are coming." Su Changtian says he knows. Then he takes out a red robe, wraps it around himself, and steps forward. Then Qingmo tells Su Changtian her name. Her name is Ran Qingmo. Su Changtian smiles and says that yes, he already knows. Then he turns back to look at Qingmo and tells her his name. My name is Su Changtian. Qingmo says, looks like you've successfully fused your soul. So Su Changtian smiles and says, yes. Then suddenly, some movement begins inside the cave, and feeling it, Su Changtian lets out a deep breath. Then he says, what's meant to come still came, ha! And then the roof of the cave collapses, and 4 figures appear standing in front. One of the men says, Miss Ran, come out. Please. Qingmo gets ready to fight and she grabs her sword, but Su Changtian stops her and says, don't say anything. I'll handle this. Then he looks toward those 4 people and says, Miss Ran didn't hurt me. Don't attack her, let her go. A strong wind blows, causing Su Changtian to raise his hand in front of his face. Then we see those 4 people, and Su Changtian looks at all of them and thinks, I remember this woman. Every time Su Changga beat me, this Inga was the one standing beside him handing over the weapon. Then Inga looks at Zhou Chen and says, Zhou Chen, take the 3rd young master away. Zhou Chen says, okay. But right then Su Changtian uses his power. Seeing him use his power shocks all 4 of them. They become stunned. Then Su Changtian tells all of them that Qingmo should be allowed to leave from here. Hearing this, Qingmo becomes a bit surprised and silently looks at Su Changtian. Inger is also a bit shocked and asks, 3rd young master, we're here to save you. What do you mean by this? So Su Changtian says, saving me and letting Miss Ran go don't conflict at all. Just let her leave and bring Changtian back up, one of the men says. All right. But Su Changtian is thinking, that cheap elder brother of mine should be right up there. He turns around, looks toward Qingmo, and tells her she can leave now. But Qingmo stands there silently. Then Su Changtian walks closer to her and says, if you change your mind about our earlier agreement to work together, you can come find me in Jingjiang City. Qingmo agrees to this and she says, yes. After that, she begins to leave, walking past those 4 people. But before going, she looks back at Su Changtian and tells him to take care of himself. Su Changtian also tells Qingmo to take care. After Qingmo leaves, silence covers the place. Then Su Changtian looks at Inger and tells her to take him upward. After some time, Inger brings Su Changtian up to the top of the mountain. But suddenly she lets go of Su Changtian, causing him to slip and fall downward. He screams at Inger, but she turns her face away and remains silent. Su Changtian looks ahead and sees Su Changga sitting on top of a giant severed snake head. Su Changga stares at Su Changtian intensely. Su Changtian is a bit shaken. He looks at the huge snake and says, the 7 lotus flowers atop this 7-life python's head have all fully bloomed. And on top of its head, a huge dark green horn has grown. Judging from these traits, this python head should belong to Ji Qingyuan's elder sister, Ji Fenghua. The Cangyuan storyline has only just begun, and the princess sisters of the snake demon clan inside Yuan have already been completely wiped out. 2 key heroines dying outright shows the butterfly effect has already sent Cangyuan's plot spiraling out of control. The future is going to be hard to predict now. And then Su Changga pulls out his whip, and seeing this, Su Changtian becomes a little shocked. But Su Changga suddenly attacks Su Changtian. The impact shocks Su Changtian, and he tries to dodge the attack and jumps back. He thinks, what kind of big brother is this? Already 20 and still using violent parenting? Then Su Changtian warns Su Changga. But Su Changga doesn't listen and attacks Su Changtian again. Su Changtian barely dodges. Su Changga's face shows no reaction, no regret. He just keeps attacking Su Changtian. But then Su Changtian uses his power and grabs the whip with his hands. Looking at Su Changga, he says, come down. But Su Changga only stares at Su Changtian with cold eyes. Then Su Changga says, this technique is pretty good. Su Changtian holds the whip tightly and looks toward him. Su Changga prepares to use some technique, and he unleashes that technique on Su Changtian, causing Su Changtian to release the whip. Su Changtian becomes shocked by Su Changga's power. Su Changtian drops to his knees. He feels that Su Changga is putting pressure on him. Damn it! This gust is pressing me so hard I can't move. And as soon as Su Chang'e clenches his fist, Su Changtian starts floating in the air. Su Changtian asks him what he's trying to do, but Su Chang'e stays silent. Su Changtian starts wondering whether Su Chang'e sensed something, whether he noticed anything. Su Chang'e looks at the monk and tells him to check Su Changtian's body once. The monk agrees and quickly reaches Su Changtian. First, the monk apologizes to Su Changtian for troubling him. Su Changtian grits his teeth angrily and thinks, "Seems like this Jueshing monk has a way to test whether a soul belongs to a body. Su Chang'e really is suspicious of me." The monk begins checking Su Changtian's body, and the pain becomes unbearable. Su Changtian starts screaming while enduring it, thinking, "The more it's like this, the more I have to stay calm, and think about what Su Changtian would do." Then Su Changtian shouts in an angry voice, "You bastard, let me go right now!" He releases his aura. Su Chang'e asks the monk, "Master Jueshing, if you find anything on Changtian, just say it." The monk replies, "Eldest young master, the third young master's body is fine, it's just that." Su Chang'e says, "Just what?" And Su Changtian releases even more of his aura and yells, "If you don't let me go, I'll complain to father when I get back." The monk says, "Right now, the third young master seems to have become an innate Dao body." Su Chang'e is shocked. "Innate Dao body?" But at that moment Su Changtian falls to the ground, because Su Chang'e increases the pressure on him even more. Su Chang'e quickly jumps down from the large snake head and rushes to Su Changtian, staring at him closely. Su Changtian threatens him. "Su Chang'e, just you wait. Once my cultivation catches up to yours, you're dead." Su Chang'e glares at Su Changtian. Then a faint smile appears on his face. Mocking Su Changtian, he calls him useless trash, turns away and says, "Get a tiny bit of good luck and your tail's already in the sky. Once we're back in Jingjiang City, I'll deal with you properly." Suddenly, a huge bird appears, massive in size, and lands on the ground. On the eagle's back sits an enormous palace. Su Chang'e looks at Su Changtian and asks, "Why are you still spacing out? Do you need me to tie you on?" Su Changtian opens his system window and looks at it, thinking, "Even though I saw it in the game before, seeing such a huge flying chicken in real life is still kind of shocking." After that, they all enter the palace built upon the giant eagle, and the eagle flies into the sky. Inside the palace, Su Chang'e sits right in front of Su Changtian. Su Changtian keeps staring at him. Su Chang'e asks, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Su Changtian replies, "Nothing." But he keeps staring at the system window, thinking, "If I remember right, in one of Cangyuan's later timelines, Ji Fenghua fought Su Chang'e once. Su Chang'e lost by a hair's breadth and was swallowed whole by Ji Fenghua, who turned into a sky-piercing giant python, his body and Dao both destroyed, body gone, Dao gone. But now Su Chang'e went straight to Ji Fenghua's home turf and chopped her head off. Did Ji Fenghua just get suddenly stronger in the later plot? Or did this cheap big brother of mine get weaker?" At that moment, Inger enters and says, "Eldest young master, we've arrived at Jingjiang City." Su Changtian looks out the window toward the city and thinks, "Since coming to this world, this is my first time actually entering the city. No idea what the real Jingjiang City will be like." They reach the city, and their giant bird lands down below. As soon as they get down, Su Changtian gets kicked hard. Su Changtian shouts at Su Chang'e, "Hey! Can't you be a bit gentler?" Then Su Chang'e hands Su Changtian some pills and says, "Your body took some damage these past few days. These pills can help heal your injuries." Su Changtian looks at the pills. The narrator explains, Qinglin pill speeds up soul recovery and temporarily strengthens it. Guangling pill toughens the meridians, a divine medicine for stabilizing foundation and nurturing essence. Vanguarding pill lets you run your cultivation technique nonstop for a full day without worrying about meridian damage. Soul cleansing pill can temper and refine the soul. Su Changtian looks at the pills and says, "How is this just treatment? This is more complete than a newbie gift pack at the start of the game." Su Chang'e may look cold, but he's actually pretty good to this little brother of his. Then someone knocks on the door. Su Changtian asks who it is. Inger appears holding medicine and says, "Third young master, your medicinal meal is ready." Su Changtian is looking at Inger like an idiot, then he becomes serious and begins thinking. In the original body's memories, the lustful glutton Su Changtian once had thoughts about Inger. He even tried to ask Su Chang'e to give her to him back in the imperial capital. And the outcome, of course, was, Su Chang'e still hasn't cleared his suspicions about me, so sending Inger to protect me is also to keep an eye on me. Su Changtian then smiles at Inger and says, "Yet in the end, Su Chang'e still handed you over to me." But Inger doesn't reply. She ignores him entirely and places the medicine on the table. Su Changtian feels humiliated and thinks, "Damn it! She's just ignoring me. I'd better teach you a lesson." Trying to teach Inger a lesson, Su Changtian puts his hand on her butt. But even then, Inger gives no reaction. Su Changtian is shocked and thinks, "She's not dodging?" In the past, every time the original body tried to take advantage, this woman would dodge him. Am I not going far enough? But suddenly, Su Changtian's hand is severed. When he looks at his hand, he cannot understand what happened since it happened in an instant. Su Changtian becomes extremely terrified realizing his hand was cut off. But then he snaps back to reality. What he saw was only an illusion. An illusion that Inger very well could actually perform. Then Inger looks at him with cold eyes. Su Changtian panics and steps back, trembling as he says, What is that supposed to mean?" Inger's cold stare is a warning. If he tries that again, whatever happens afterward will be Su Changtian's own responsibility. Then she leaves the room. After she leaves, Su Changtian becomes furious. He smashes the medicine cup and shouts, "I'll kill you! How dare you treat me like this? I'll have father kill you! You bastard! Once my cultivation catches up, I'll cripple your meridians and lock you in the dungeon." Elsewhere. On a rooftop, two people sit talking. Joachim laughs and says, "You even dare touch that woman's butt. Truly worthy of the third young master, your courage is astounding." The man beside him says, "When it comes to things like this, the third young master's guts have always been out of the ordinary. Back then he even kidnapped Marquis Wu's legitimate granddaughter and dragged her back to the Prime Minister's estate." Joachim becomes serious and says, "There was something like that. I remember that county princess only came to the capital to acknowledge her kin a year ago, didn't she? That's the granddaughter of the northern war god of the court, and he still dared to kidnap her. The third young master really has quite the personality." The man says, "Otherwise, what did you think was the reason he was sent from the imperial capital to Jingjiang City a year ago?" Joachim says, "So, did it work out?" The man responds, "You're actually interested in that kind of thing?" Joachim says, "If you can't say, then forget it." The man says, "Almost. At that time I was responsible for the third young master's safety. Marquis Wu's eldest son led people to storm the Prime Minister's estate and rescued her." Joachim says, "Huh! I remember his temper isn't exactly good. The third young master wasn't beaten to death?" The man says, "The eldest young master happened to be home, but he didn't know that girl was the Marquis Wu's granddaughter either." Joachim says, "You mean the moment that little county princess entered the city, before she even acknowledged her kin, she was already kidnapped by the third young master? Could it really be that much of a coincidence?" The man says, "Of course it wouldn't be that coincidental. The third young master said he'd been egged on. As for who egged him on, he can't remember." Joachim is shocked. Can't remember? Someone used some kind of memory interference method on the third young master? The Marquis Wu and the Prime Minister have never gotten along. After this, their conflict is bound to intensify even more. No, something's off. He asks the man. He doesn't remember, but you, a Grand Master, also don't remember? The man replies, "I don't remember either." Joachim says, "Someone at the Origin Realm?" The man says, "Not sure. The Prime Minister has already had shadow guards investigating for over a year, but they've found nothing. Anyway, don't forget the task the eldest young master gave us. Jochen says, relax. Isn't it just teaching the third young master how to cultivate? Next we see some girls in a tavern. A man slams his hand on the table, drunk, shouting. Su Chang'e goes to Yuan, kills a mere snake demon, and the crown prince personally welcomes him back to the capital with full state ceremony. Another man says, "Ah, Brother Li, you're drunk. Stop spouting nonsense." But the drunk man says he's not too drunk, then shouts. His Majesty stays in the palace and rarely appears. Now the crown prince rides out to welcome him. Clearly it's that prime minister's faction building momentum for his eldest son. That Su Shinhe sits as prime minister with wild ambitions written all over him. Never mind his factionalism and private dealings. There are even rumors he already holds a private army in his hands. And that third son Su Changtian is worse than a beast, seizing women by force and trampling the common folk as he pleases. Suddenly someone behind him says, "A mere unranked scholar slandering an important minister of the court. Does he really think Jingjiang City has no secret investigations bureau?" The man turns around and shouts, "Even if the secret investigations bureau comes, so what? Everything I said is truth that others don't dare voice." The other man calmly replies, "So what? Why don't we notify them and see?" Everyone falls silent. The entire place becomes quiet. We see Su Changtian, who looks calm, but he is thinking. Top floor of drunken immortal tower. Hair tied up. Didn't think I'd get to watch such a nice show, but honestly it doesn't matter to me. Then Jochen arrives and says, "He's cursing Su Changtian. What does that have to do with Su Yuan? Third young master, you're still standing here?" As soon as we reached the top floor, he went straight in with 2 maids in his arms like he owned the place. Su Changtian asked Jochen, "Done already? That fast?" Jochen says, "No, don't get the wrong idea. I don't touch women. It's just required for the technique. Being quick is how it's supposed to be. Third young master, you're not going to have some fun while you're here?" Su Changtian says, Can't you see the state my body's in, Mr. Zhou? Only after cultivating did I realize how badly my body's been drained by past debauchery. If I keep this up, so for now, I'll pass. Anyway, if I run into problems with cultivation, I'll come to you. Just do as you like." Jochen takes 2 girls with him and prepares to leave. Before going, he says, "I thought the third young master was a kindred spirit." Su Changtian calls from behind, "Mr. Zhou, I really don't want to be your kindred spirit." Hearing this, Jochen is surprised and says, So you are a kindred spirit after all." Su Changtian thinks, "Rather than dealing with needs of the flesh, my reason for coming here is to deal with the next person who wants me dead." After some time, a man comes to Su Changtian and he greets Su Changtian and says, "Third young master, we've found the person you told us to investigate in secret." Su Changtian thinks, damn it. Because I was kidnapped, Su Chang'e killed off all the bodyguards originally assigned to me. I could only transfer guards from my father's adopted daughter's side, the so-called fourth miss. Then he asks, "Which one?" The servant answers, "The courtesan you wanted to find before." Su Changtian thinks, isn't she the story's main character? Then he asks, "Is that woman at Sheshiang Pavilion in the south of the city?" The servant says, "No, she's right here in Drunken Immortal Tower. Tomorrow is the day she's bought out of the house." Su Changtian starts thinking, damn it, the plot has gone off the rails again. After returning to Jingjiang City, a few of the original body's death routes were all because of this courtesan. The reason is simple, competing with the protagonist over a woman, and in the end being killed by him. Only, that plot originally happens at Xiaoxiang Pavilion in the south of the city, so I deliberately stayed in Drunken Immortal Tower in the north for a whole month. And what do you know, this woman actually followed over here. It's like, she came here specifically to trigger a conflict between me and the protagonist. Then he asks the servant, "How long has she been here?" The servant answers, "More than half a month already." Su Changtian becomes extremely angry and says, Shui-yong, I told you 10-day periods ago to start investigating this woman, and you only bring me this news right before she's bought out? The servant says. I was incompetent. Please punish me, young master. Silence fills the room for a moment. Su Changtian is furious. He crushes the cup in his hand and thinks, now I finally get why the original Su Changtian was so touchy and loved raging at useless people. Everyone in the Prime Minister's estate knows the fourth miss looks down on the third young master. Didn't think the servants were the same. The gap in cultivation is right there. Hitting him would only hurt my hand, and even drawing a sword wouldn't scratch him. Su Changtian stands up and says, Shui-yong, 22 years old, peaks 6th grade iron body. Stepping into 5th grade is just a matter of time. Little sis seems to value you quite a bit. A young talent like you. The servant is shocked and looks at Su Changtian. Aura begins leaking from Su Changtian's hand as he says, Since you're asking for punishment, and Su Changtian is thinking, I may have only just reached 9th grade, but if I attack suddenly, I should be able to injure him. I have to establish some authority. But right then, Zhou Chen appears. Su Changtian is shocked and thinks why Zhou Chen came here. Zhou Chen stays silent. Su Changtian stares at him, when suddenly Zhou Chen attacks the servant's arm. The servant screams in pain and falls to the ground. Zhou Chen calmly says, A mere guard dares show disrespect to the third young master. Are all of fourth Mrs. people this insolent? Third young master, should this man be crippled, or killed on the spot? Su Changtian is silent at first, then says, Zhou Sir is actually willing to make a move to help me? Zhou Chen says, Hey, third young master, you've let me enjoy myself at Drunken Immortal Tower for so long. I should at least do something. Su Changtian says, Oh? Is that so? That does count as a reason. This guy really has eaten, drunk, and played to his heart's content this past month. Zhou Chen asks, Third young master, so is he getting crippled or killed? Su Changtian thinks, damn, this Zhou Chen is testing me too. Looks like my being kidnapped and returning with a new cultivation base is still way too suspicious. With how sensitive and violent the original was. Su Changtian walks past Zhou Chen, looks back at him, and says, Mr. Zhou, I don't want to see this person again. The servant hears this and panics, screaming, No! Worship Zhou, I know I was wrong, you can't kill me. If you kill me, according to the Prime Minister's rules you'll be punished too. But Zhou Chen isn't scared. Laughing, he says, Heh. You're right. But if it's the third young master who kills you, what does that have to do with me? Then Zhou Chen kills the man. After killing him, he comes out and says to Su Changtian, It's done. Though there might be some trouble with the fourth miss. After all, she valued Shui-yong a lot. Su Changtian asks, Valued? So what if she did? If mother hadn't taken that slut in as a foster daughter back then, who knows which brothel she'd be selling smiles in now. She's just a stray wild brat. Right then, both of them hear a voice. Now, please welcome the Zai and Zihua sisters to the stage. They both look toward the stage, where people are cheering loudly and praising two girls. Zhou Chen says, Third young master, these two sisters really are something. I watch them dance here every day. The elder sister's waist, the younger sister's legs, they're pricey, but absolutely worth every coin. So, third young master, how about you call them up? Su Changtian thinks, this top expert really has no shame. Su Changtian says, Mr. Zhou, like I said, I don't want to be a kindred spirit with you. Zhou Chen says, If you don't want to be my kindred spirit, I can just use the back door, can I? Su Changtian starts leaving and thinks, forget this guy. Better get down to real business first. Zhou Chen says, Third young master, are you heading off to cultivate? I'm free these days. I can assist you with your cultivation. Su Changtian stops after hearing this. Assist with cultivation? Zhou Chen explains. It's an innate trait of my technique. I can use my soul to refine the surrounding origin chi and gather it around you. All you have to do is keep absorbing and refining it. Su Changtian thinks there's something like that. Zhou Chen says, Of course. Does the third young master want it? Su Changtian says, Not right now. Zhou Chen asks where he is going. Su Chatian answers. I'm going downstairs to find the madam. Tomorrow, Drunken Immortal Tower's Courtesan of the Year is being bought out. Scene shift. A lady appears and says, Oh my, third young master, you're here so early. I haven't even finished dressing yet. Third young master, what brings you here today? If it's just the three of us, this poor little body of mine. Su Chatian says. 2 things. The lady says. Please, I'm listening. Su Chatian says. First, send Zai and Zihua up to the top floor. The lady replies. Oh my, that depends on what my 2 daughters themselves think. But since it's the third young master asking, we can forget the usual rules. I'll arrange it at once. And what's the second matter, third young master? Su Chatian says. The second thing is, have your newly arrived courtesan of the year sent to my room.